So, you know what's right and wrong, right?
Yeah.
You know no one could touch your private areas?
Yeah, but he didn't touch that part.
Doesn't touch your private parts? Okay. Okay. And you know what's right and wrong, right? You know where people can't touch, where people can't do. Yeah, you know that, right? Does Tim ever do that?
No, he's never touched me.
Never touched you?
Yeah.
In like, you know, your private areas, right?
Yeah.
Never did that?
Never.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the story of Timothy Busfield's accusers and the explosive audio recordings from their police interviews where they initially denied inappropriate touching. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll explore the serious allegations against this veteran actor, examine the timeline of events, and understand the controversies that have made this one of Hollywood's most debated legal cases. Who is Timothy Busfield? Timothy Busfield, now 68, built his career over 4 decades as an actor and director. He's best known for winning an Emmy for 30-something and playing White House Press Secretary Danny Concannon in The West Wing. These recent allegations have shocked many who followed his respected career, particularly as they emerged while he was directing episodes of The Cleaning Lady. The core allegations. The accusations involve Busfield allegedly touching 2 underage twin boys, identified as VL and SL, during his work directing The Cleaning Lady in Albuquerque, New Mexico, from 2022 through spring 2024. The relationship extended beyond the set. The boys called him Uncle Tim, and they built close ties with both Busfield and his wife, actress Melissa Gilbert, sharing Christmas gifts and attending social gatherings together. There's also an earlier claim from 2001 involving a 17-year-old actress Busfield directed in a stage production, raising questions about potential patterns of behavior. Busfield's defense and Warner Brothers investigation. Busfield has vigorously denied all charges. In a TMZ video, he declared emphatically, "And I did not do anything to those little boys." His legal team maintains his complete innocence. Following an anonymous SAG-AFTRA tip on December 16, 2024, Warner Brothers launched a comprehensive investigation. They interviewed cast and crew from The Cleaning Lady production and found 0 witnesses who could corroborate the allegations. No one reported witnessing inappropriate behavior between Busfield and the minor actors on set. This finding has become central to Busfield's defense. The revenge motive theory. Busfield points to the boy's mother as having revenge motivation. According to his team, she became vengeful after the twins were cut from the show. One actress from the production supports this theory. However, prosecutors argue this is a common defense tactic to attack accusers' credibility. The question of motive cuts both ways. While the defense claims fabrication, Busfield also has tremendous motive to deny true allegations given what's at stake. Medical concerns. Hospital staff flagged signs of grooming in the twin boys. Grooming refers to how abusers build trust with children and their families, making victims vulnerable and less likely to report abuse. Medical professionals are trained to recognize signs including unusually close relationships, gift-giving, secret-keeping, and boundary violations. However, close mentoring relationships between adults and children in entertainment aren't uncommon, and signs can sometimes be misinterpreted. The arrest. Authorities arrested Busfield and held him without bond. A significant decision suggesting the court views him as either a flight risk, a danger, or considers the evidence compelling. He remains in Bernalillo County Metropolitan Detention Center while hearings continue. The entertainment industry has distanced itself, with filmmakers removing him from an upcoming movie before any conviction. Timeline of events. 2001. First allegation. Misconduct allegation involving a 17-year-old actress during a stage production Busfield directed. 2022 to 2024. The Cleaning Lady production extended filming period in Albuquerque where alleged incidents involving the twin boys occurred. The relationship grew to include social interactions and family involvement. November 1st, 2024. Initial police investigation. Police began investigating after a doctor's alert. Crucially, Both twin boys explicitly denied any inappropriate touching during these interviews. This denial is one of the most contested pieces of evidence. Defense sees it as proof of innocence, while prosecutors suggest the boys weren't ready to disclose abuse. Hashtag December 16th, 2024. SAG-AFTRA report anonymous report alleged head kisses to a minor and tickling or stroking of children, prompting the Warner Brothers investigation. Hashtag September 2nd, 2025, the turning point. Nearly 10 months after denying abuse, one twin disclosed to a counselor inappropriate touches to his genitals and bottom. This was the first clear disclosure of sexual abuse. Hashtag October 3rd, 2025. CPS notification, a parent alerted Child Protective Services, escalating from private counseling to official investigation. Hashtag October 31st, 2025. Forensic interviews, specially trained interviewers conducted formal interviews at a safe house. Both boys provided detailed accounts. When asked about uncomfortable contact, one responded, "You mean like Uncle Tim?" A stark contrast to their November 2024 denials. Hashtag November 3rd, 2025. Police contact Busfield after reading Miranda rights. Police questioned Busfield. He defended his interactions. "It's not allowed at all. There is no protocol. I mean, I'm always around people, right? It would be in front of the parents. There would never be a weird moment about it." Hashtag December 31st, 2025. Warner Brothers report delivered. Police received the investigation report, finding no corroborating witnesses. Hashtag January 9th, 2026. Charges filed, formal criminal charges filed, and arrest warrant issued. Hashtag January 13th, 2026. Voluntary surrender. Busfield drove 2,000 miles to New Mexico and turned himself in, booking into Bernalillo County Metropolitan Detention Center. Hashtag January 14th, 2026. First court appearance. Judge informed him of charges and decided to hold him without bond. Hashtag January 19th, 2026. Audio bombshell. TMZ released the November 2024 police interview audio where both boys clearly denied inappropriate touching. Busfield's lawyers immediately filed this as evidence, labeling it an unequivocal denial. The audio dramatically changed public perception. Hashtag January 20th, 2026. Today, Busfield remains held without bond. Bail hearing scheduled today will determine whether he's released pending trial. Hashtag the critical police audio evidence. The November 2024 recordings are perhaps the most important evidence. An officer asked, "You know no one can touch your private areas?" Both boys confirmed, "Yes." SL stated clearly, "But he didn't touch that part." VL added, "No, he's never touched me." These weren't vague responses. They were direct, unequivocal denials. Defense interpretation. The recordings prove innocence. If abuse occurred, why would children deny it when directly asked by police trained to create safe disclosure environments? Prosecution counter. The audio shows initial withholding of abuse information. Research shows delayed disclosure is the norm in child abuse cases. Children often deny abuse multiple times before disclosing due to fear and shame, attachment to the abuser, confusion about boundaries, grooming-related pressure, testing whether it's safe to disclose. The TMZ release had immediate public impact. Many who believed the allegations paused after hearing the boys' clear denials, sparking intense debate about what the audio truly means. Hashtag why did the boys' accounts change? The 11 months between November 2024 denials and September 2025 disclosure is critical. Defense theory. Something happened to change the story. Possibly parental coaching by the angry mother, therapeutic suggestion that reinterpreted innocent interactions, false memory creation through repeated questioning, or twin influence on each other's memories. Prosecution theory. This is textbook delayed disclosure of real abuse. The boys initially denied due to fear and confusion. Counseling provided safety to disclose. Once one boy disclosed, the other felt supported. Despite delays, accounts remain internally consistent. Hashtag additional evidence. The father's role. Court documents show the father pushed his sons into hugs with Busfield, even when the kids resisted. This could show physical contact was openly observable and parent encouraged, or that the father unknowingly facilitated grooming. The 2024 report, police received an earlier report but dismissed it for falling short of standards, frustrating the parents who felt warnings were ignored. 2001 case context. Witness Matthew Moore recalled the accuser's father making calculating comments about leveraging his daughter's situation. They're going to love it because Tim Busfield is going to present it to them, which I'm certain he will do because he will need to if he thinks he's going to F*** my daughter. This suggests possible ulterior motives, though it's one person's decades-old memory. ## key players: the accused and accusers. Timothy Busfield, VL and SL, the twin boys. Their parents, the 2001 accuser. Professionals: Matthew Moore, 2001 witness. Melissa Gilbert, Busfield's wife. The doctor, counselor, pediatrician, and forensic interviewer. An unnamed actress supporting the revenge theory institutions. Warner Brothers, SAG-AFTRA, Albuquerque Police Department, Child Protective Services, U.S. Marshals, Bernalillo County Metropolitan Detention Center. New Mexico courts ## what's next. Today's bail hearing will determine if Busfield is released pending trial. His attorneys will argue no flight risk, no danger, presumption of innocence, and strong defense evidence. Prosecutors will emphasize charge severity, potential witness tampering, victim protection, and flight risk despite voluntary surrender. If it proceeds to trial, expect months of preparation including discovery, pretrial motions, plea negotiations, expert testimony, challenging jury selection given media coverage, and potentially weeks of trial testimony. ## the larger questions. This case forces us to confront difficult societal debates. Believing children versus false accusations. Child advocates emphasize believing children since false allegations are rare and disbelief causes trauma. Wrongful conviction advocates emphasize that accusations aren't proof, and our system requires reasonable doubt for good reason. The November denials followed by September disclosures give both sides ammunition. Entertainment industry vulnerabilities. The industry creates situations where adults work closely with children, sometimes involving physical contact. This creates opportunities for predators, but also risks that innocent interactions get misinterpreted. The case underscores the need for clear boundaries and strong oversight. Memory and child testimony. Can we trust initial denials, or must we recognize delayed disclosure patterns? How do we distinguish real delayed disclosure from false memories? What role should therapy play without creating false narratives? When accounts change, which version is accurate? These questions will be central at trial. Audio evidence in the internet age. TMZ's release allows the public to hear evidence directly, but risks creating pretrial bias, subjecting child victims to public scrutiny, pressuring the legal system through public opinion, and oversimplifying complex evidence into sound bites. ## conclusion. 2 young boys first clearly denied inappropriate touching, then nearly a year later described detailed sexual abuse. A veteran actor maintains complete innocence, supported by a Warner Brothers investigation finding no witnesses. Medical professionals flagged grooming signs. Alternative explanations include revenge motives and false memories. The audio denials clash with later counseling disclosures. Warner Brothers' findings clash with the boys' reports and hospital assessment. Questions about motives, memories, and truth tangle with child protection and justice concerns. As today arrives with Busfield held without bond and a bail hearing scheduled, this case remains far from resolution. The path ahead includes more hearings, possible trial testimony, expert witnesses, and ultimately a jury's determination. The stakes couldn't be higher for Busfield, whose freedom and legacy hang in the balance, for the twin boys, thrust into a traumatic legal process regardless of the truth, and for society's effort to protect children while also protecting justice. The truth, whatever it may be, will hopefully emerge through the legal process, providing justice for whoever deserves it, whether an innocent man wrongly accused or young victims seeking accountability for abuse.